Dominique, the Nourishing Mystic, and for my meal prep this Sunday, I am making rose vanilla overnight oats. This will be my breakfast for the next 5 days. So I've taken out just 5 jars that I've reused from other uses. They're about the size of I think it's 14-ounce mason jars, basically the mason jars that are 2 cups. These are about the same size. So 5 of these for the week, and I figured since I'm making it already, I might as well show you the process. All right, the ingredients we'll need for this meal prep are 3 cups of milk. I'm using almond milk, but of course you can use any kind of milk that you would like. And we're going to need the oats, of course, rolled oats. And really from that point on, I mean, you could make overnight oats with just that, but we're gonna add in some flavorings here to the milk specifically. We're gonna add in about a tablespoon of powdered rose. So this I just powdered in a regular herb or spice grinder from rose petals. It's about a tablespoon. And we're gonna need about 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, or again, use whatever sweetener you'd like and make it more or less sweet. I like my oatmeal to be very sweet. You're also gonna need some vanilla extract and perhaps a touch of cinnamon and a touch of salt as well. So I'm using some Himalayan sea salt. And we're really going to mix all of this up in a small saucepan with a lid. And of course you'll need the measuring cups. So let's measure in the 3 cups of almond milk. And the reason why we're using 3 cups for the 5 jars is we're going to pour in half a cup to each jar. And it's going to be a little bit more than half a cup. So, you know, some of it's going to boil off, some of it's going to spill out. So that's why I like to use 3 cups. That last half cup is really more of a buffer. And I also like my oatmeal to be really, really moist. Like I like it to have a lot of liquid in it. So that's why we're going to be adding a little bit more than half a cup for each. I'll start that off on a high heat just to get it to a boil, but then we're going to turn it down to low pretty quickly. We'll mix in all of our flavorings here. So we'll mix in the powdered rose. We'll mix in the maple syrup as well. And we'll mix in, I'm going to say about a teaspoon of cinnamon, just because in this case, I don't want the cinnamon to overwhelm the rose and vanilla flavors. But of course, add more or less if you'd like. Looks like I got a little bit more maple syrup in there. And about a 1/4 teaspoon or maybe even a 1/2 teaspoon of the vanilla extract. I'm going to go for a 1/2 teaspoon. And about a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, again depending on your taste. I'll do just about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Alright, and now we will also be getting out a small whisk and just carefully whisking this together. Making sure we get this nice and blended in. So just whisk that for about a minute here. It takes a moment for all of those powders to blend. And we can see it's already kind of starting to froth up here a bit. essentially what I'm doing here is I'm bringing it to a boil, which it almost already is, and then reducing it down to a bare simmer. So I'm going to set this heat now that it's kind of starting to bubble up here. You can see it's all forming and starting to boil. I'm going to actually reduce this down to a low, and I'm going to put the cover on it, and this should sit covered for about 5 minutes. And that will give us plenty of time to assemble the overnight oats. And for this, I'm putting half a cup of the oats in each jar. And a little bit more, a little bit less. You know, I'm not too picky on the measurement. Again, you can kind of see, like, I'm trying to keep it at half a cup, but if it's a little bit more, that's okay. You know, some of it spills off the edges, which is why I'm doing it over my oats as well. And there we go. That's technically all we need, but I like to add in some extra things. So some things I'm adding in are chia seeds. And I'm going to add probably at least a couple teaspoons, maybe even, I'll probably do a whole, let's see, I kind of go by eye. Yeah, a little less than half a tablespoon of chia seeds for each. Because honestly, I typically do this by eye, and I just dump a bunch into the jars without actually measuring or paying attention. But definitely what I normally do is about a little less than half a tablespoon. So again, if you want to see that, just a little bit less than half. And then we'll do the same thing, about a half tablespoon of the hemp seeds as well. So these are hulled hemp seeds. Oh, maybe even just a tablespoon, because a bunch just decided to come out there. So that's generally a little bit more than a tablespoon. See, and sometimes, you know, things will just happen when you're cooking, and I like to go with it. I like to say that that's a sign that maybe the universe is telling me I need a little bit more hemp seeds in my diet this week, and I'll just go with it. So whether you do a half tablespoon or more, just kind of, the nice thing about overnight oats is they're very customizable to your own taste and your own needs and whatever you'd really like to add in. So this is just a general idea to get you started, but please, like, be creative with it. Add in different things if you want. I'm also adding in the organic gelatinized maca. Hopefully you can see that. This is a wonderful energizing supplement that was recommended to me by my nutritionist. And she recommends adding a teaspoon to each serving. So it's 1 measured teaspoon. I love maca for its nutritional benefits, but I will say a caveat that it definitely lends its own unique flavor to the oats, which is why you balance out with cinnamon, rose, vanilla, maple syrup, because the maca does have a strong taste. Like, it tastes pretty much exactly how it smells. And it's like this earthy, I'm not even sure how to describe this taste. If you haven't tasted maca, you might not be familiar with it. It's like a pungent taste. It's not spicy. It's a little bit on the bitter side. I'm not sure, but I don't find it to be a super palatable taste. And that's why we have to balance it out with a lot of flavor. So just a warning here, if you kind of are like me and you hear about the medicinal benefits and the nutritional benefits, you might just want to dump a bunch in. But I definitely recommend do not do more than a teaspoon, because it will ruin the flavor of your oatmeal if you add too much. If you add a teaspoon, or honestly even less, and benefit and balance it out with like maple syrup and other sweeteners, it works out. It's not bad when you balance it out. The other add-in I could recommend is shredded coconut. One thing to note is that the coconut doesn't seem to get soft like how the oatmeal will kind of get soft, so it will add a chewy texture to the oatmeal. Some people might like that, some people might not like that. I'm experimenting with it, so I'm just gonna add a half teaspoon of the coconut, maybe even a whole teaspoon, because coconut also serves as a good healthy fat. So again, I'm having the oats at the beginning of my day, so I really want to get that healthy fat in there to help energize me, even though I'm not the hugest fan of the texture. So again, I'm only doing a teaspoon. So more or less, if you like, you know, I'm liking the shredded coconut more than coconut flakes, but again, have fun with it. Add cacao if you have it, add cacao powder if you have it. There's lots of different herbs to experiment with. Instead of doing the rose milk idea, you could do any other decoction of herbs that you might have or want. You might add astragalus to it, or if you're wanting something more relaxing, you might add ashwagandha to it. Anything that you have around, just experiment. I'm gonna give this mix a couple more minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. All right, I'm back. I've poured in most of the almond milk mixture here, and I'm gonna measure out about half a cup for each. So again, we want a minimum of half a cup in each mix. And after I'm done with the half a cup, I honestly just sort of play it by sight here. So this is how full the jar is with half a cup. And you see there, like, it's very thick. So this is kind of what the mixture looks like with just half a cup. And I'm gonna pour in some more to each jar. Just like a bit more in each. Because I really like a lot of liquid mixed in with my oatmeal. Like I said, it's more of an art than a science. You'll get the feel of it when you start making your own, and you'll get kind of an idea of whether you want more or less of anything. I love this recipe because it's super simple to make, and then it's breakfast for the week. It's just basically grab and go. They only take about 30 seconds in the microwave to heat back up in the morning, so it's great if you're really in a rush or, you know, on the go. And what you see now is I'm stirring in, really stirring around all of those ingredients that we added before, making sure that we get those nice and mixed up. So really giving that a good stir. And you can see that now that I added that extra milk, there's a lot more liquid in there. So see, that's a lot more now, and we really want to mix up, especially the maca, make sure that's evenly dispersed. Whereas in this one that I haven't stirred, you kind of see how it's all it's all just in one place. So we're going to just kind of get in there, get that mixed up. couple more. See, everything's at the bottom. Mix it up. And that's really all there is to it. We'll put the tops on these and we'll have breakfast all ready to go for the week. Hopefully you guys found this to be a good recipe. Hopefully you try it yourself and make some very tasty oatmeal, tasty, quick, and convenient. And hopefully you're having a great day. Thank you. Blessed be.